Make it so.
Yay.
Woo!
Yay! Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Sunday, and the Sci-Fi Sunday, guys. We're talking about virus plague movies. And today I am joined by my good friend Marty, the Trash Picture Show, my other good friend, and Sparky, the man with two names. And how's it going, guys?
It's going good. I'm ready to talk about viruses that come from the sky and kill ya.
Yay.
Viruses traveling through the air, infecting us all, and then cinematic entertainment, guys.
Exactly.
What do you all think about the subject that it seems that we have all these movies dedicated to it?
Let's see what. Well, it says that we fear the sky. We fear the sky. Freaking.
I guess it's mostly like kind of the fear, like this like sudden threat and something like the unexpected thing, because you never really, as you can look with recent stuff going on in the world, you never. It's always happened when people least suspect things to happen, and it can just completely devastate the world for a while.
See, I find this totally unbelievable. Name me one time in history where anything from the airborne has, ruined a whole society for a while.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
movies that tell me what. Only if you believe enough in Jesus will you be saved.
Oh, God.
No worries. I know that we're all safe. We've all taken our horse dewormer before we got online, so everybody should be fine. Should be a-okay. Hey, DMC.
Hey, dude.
Marty, what do you think about this this genre of film that's so appealing to either audiences or filmmakers?
Well, to filmmakers, it's like very easy to do a disaster movie that goes around a virus.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to blow up a building to show a viral outbreak. You don't have to have a fucking tsunami to show a viral outbreak. You can just people can just sneeze and drop on the ground, and there you have it. That's the virus. And given certain circumstances as well, we still have this morbid curiosity. I don't understand it, but apparently both Contagion and Outbreak were the highest watched movies on Netflix when COVID became a pandemic. I'm like, why the fuck would you want to watch that with all this shit going on? It's just I don't know. It's like it's mental. It's like you watching all those air disaster things before you go on a fucking flight. It's just
yeah.
But
I didn't get
I don't know.
that either.
It makes it quite more exciting. It certainly does. But I'm guilty of doing that too. When the whole thing started, before it even got over here, I had Andromeda Strain in the DVD player, ready to go. I was watching it.
Maybe people look at it as a how-to guide.
Well, see, I didn't get that either because, literally, a couple days into the official pandemic and stuff, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna finally get around to watching Maggie, the Arnold Schwarzenegger horror movie, what I thought was just about his daughter becoming a zombie. Oh no, that movie's about a viral airborne disease spreading across the country and wiping out everyone. That originated from East Asia.
I still need to see that.
It's oh great, I'm not watching this now. Bad times.
all I'm gonna say is, guys, this is the most boring zombie apocalypse I've ever fucking had.
I was promised Corona zombies. Promised Corona zombies, man. There was gonna be.
I had red dot sights got for my guns. I had biohazard stuff. I sharpened my katanas. And what did I end up? I ended up sitting me arse playing Ark for 9 months fucking straight. Some zombie apocalypse.
I was practicing my thriller dance.
They teased us at the beginning of the whole thing before this even started because you had Florida Man out there on bath salts eating people's faces, you know?
Yeah.
They teased the zombie apocalypse. Never happened.
Never happened.
I need bath salts.
You don't need bath salts.
I need bath salts. Well, I'm guilty of it too because you know what I read when we started. Like
you read The Stand.
I read The Stand. I did. I felt like, oh, it seems like I haven't read that in a while. I need to read it. You know, and again, and it was in a part of my brain. It was part of okay, worst case scenario. Maybe I'm gonna get some pointers. It's like a how-to guide.
I guess. Wasn't that
But
helpful?
it's you know it. I guess one of the things about it is a very cheap kind of film to make because you can't see the villain, and it's not like when you're making The Invisible Man where you've got to do all these special effects. You got to get your green screens out. You got to get your Luma key and going, and yeah, no, it's. We'll just have some guys in lab coats look through a microscope.
Works for me.
And people like in green skin and stuff.
Yeah, just yeah. Have your actors cough on each other for a couple of scenes. You're good. Golden. Got a movie. Print it and ship it.
Woo! And maybe go ahead.
I do love during these virus movies. There's always that couple that's like fucking, just like quoting at it, and it's like, what do we do, Bobby? We have sex because we're going to need to worry about it. Are you not worried about fucking Look, VD is there. I'm pretty sure the shit can, like, you know.
Well, in fairness, Marty, that would be my first instinct.
Another common thing in this movie is you've always got, like, in these movies, is you've always got people running. Like, they're always running. They're running away from the you're running away from the virus.
You're moving from state to state.
Like, you wouldn't think that
zombie, it makes sense. That's like 28 weeks later, or fucking, I don't know, monsters or crazies or something, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if it's like in I Am Legend, you know, they're like zombies, but they're not zombies. Okay?
They're vampires.
Yeah, they're vampire zombie things, depending on which movie we're talking about.
Exactly. Those are the coolest, those zombies, vampire zombies.
I get that.
Yeah, they always seem to find the cure in 2 hours. DMC is right on that one. That seems to be a common thing.
Well,
very seldom do they leave these movies with like, oh, and then everybody died.
All I'll say is that if I wake up and I'm in a post-apocalyptic movie or a dystopian movie and Charlton Heston is the lead, I'm like, fuck this. None of us are making it to the end of this shit.
Even if people survive, you're still gonna detonate the bomb. You'll launch that mess.
From my
hey,
dead hands.
Oh,
Silent Green are people?
there you go.
But yeah, so I guess first and foremost, within this genre, I gotta highlight the big players. You know, you've got Andromeda Strain, you've got The Happening, which is really goofy and cheesy, and I got some facts on The Happening I'd like to talk about. So we'll get to that. But you know, you got movies like 12 Monkeys. You got movies like The Stand.
Mm-hmm.
Got 28 Days Later, World War Z. Outbreak. Gotta mention Outbreak. That's like the big one. You got Infection, Blindness, Carriers, Zombieland, Maggie, Cassandra's Crossing, Infection, The Last Man on Earth, Death in Venice, Black Death, Mask of the Red Death, Flu. Did I say Contagion already?
Yes.
I said Contagion already.
Yeah.
Yes. But like, it's just to name a few, and then it's like pretty much every zombie movie in existence. It's a virus movie, except for Night of the Living Dead, which is radiation. Did it? Not viruses. Which doesn't make any sense.
From radiation.
How do you guys feel about that? Like with the original Night of the Living Dead, where they say radiation from a satellite is what's
Yeah,
emitted.
it was a probe from Venus.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, for the time period, it was kind of cool to mix your zombies and space.
I know. I always I know that's what the official thing that the movie states. I always kind of like to go with the idea that the movie also hints at that just hell is overflowed and that the souls of the damned are just escaping out. I kind of like that idea better, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good.
But the Venus one's cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the time period, you got to look at it the time period.
Yeah.
It's. I always felt like we really needed to see the satellite. We never see this. I don't care if it's just like some tin foil that you see for 5 seconds. I want to see the satellite. See it.
Would anyone want to come back like as a zombie? You know, that just basically.
It depends on which movie we're going off of.
I get that.
Like which style zombies are we talking about?
Like if I just tried to eat people.
So just basic night one?
Yeah.
Probably not. But if we're talking like warm bodies logic where you have like levels of pretty decent consciousness still, yeah, sure, why not? Might be fun.
You get the Shaun of the Dead zombies.
Yeah. Demons. Yeah.
Although demons is more supernatural than right?
Well, it's like a demon virus. Like you got to they scratch you and then they spread the demon virus to you and you become a demon. It's kind of a mixture of like zombies and demons.
It's like zombie AIDS.
Yeah, it's like demon AIDS. That's a thing I said.
They didn't wear a condom, Marty.
That explains the pimp and the hooker. Well, it is a prostitute who's the first one to be infected in the movie.
I wasn't kidding. That's why I said
yeah, it is a prostitute who's the first demon in the movie.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean you can't get pregnant or don't need a condom.
You're dating her, dude.
But it's interesting though. The whole concept of zombies is very interesting. It gives you a visual element with the virus type movie, these sort of invisible boogeyman movies. So, you know, I think it's a good evolution.
It is. Do you think something like that could ever really happen, like in real life? Like I mean,
well, that happened in Florida. Fucking dude had another dude's face. I think in Florida, are we really surprised?
I know.
Well,
that's Florida, Marty.
Yeah.
Actually, mad cow disease is supposedly very close to what zombieism is depicted to. You know, where you're just sort of you're insane, you're doing irrational things, you're eating each other.
Prions. The scientific term, I think the scientific term for it is prions, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And like you have an involuntary spasms, and you kind of it affects you neurologically.
Yeah.
So I
no.
Yeah, you're one bad burger in Mickey D's away from being a zombie.
Oh, cool.
And if we're to believe I drink your blood, then rabies is a lot like zombieism.
Oh yeah.
Rabies.
I always forget about that one. Yeah.
Rabies.
Which I guess I should do that on this.
No.
The virus movie too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be on the list.
Rabbit's a good one.
Good one. And I like it because it's sexually transmitted.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
That happens, and I drink your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the best. That's where I think people, if we are going to fall into something like this, I think it would be through sex that would end us all.
But Jen, if you want to look at it from a certain point of view, it already has happened. The outbreak of AIDS in the 80s was fucking rampant.
That's true.
Yeah?
That's true. We have kind of have it.
Yeah.
I mean, though, more one that'll make us more flesh-eating zombies.
I get that.
Yeah, that one just
So
sort of
you're
makes you dead.
I want to be
But,
a zombie.
I get that. I guess.
But I think by and large, my favorite out of the whole genre would have to be Andromeda Strain in 1971, which is, of course is based off of the Michael Crichton novel
Yes.
from '69, which is great. I mean, awesome. You know, he went for when they were making that. The Universal gave him a tour of their whole studios, and you know who gave him the tour personally?
Who?
Steven Spielberg.
Of course is.
Of course it's Spielberg.
So I got this book about dinosaurs. Really? Okay.
It's kind of fun. It's ironic that like eventually he would make one of his books into a movie himself. So it's kind of cool. He's giving the tour, making the movie, having a laugh.
Well, like Brighton Excel that's scaring the shit out of people with science. He did it with obviously Andromeda Strain. He did it again with Westworld, and then he did it with Jurassic Park. So viruses, AI, and genetic engineering. Hey!
And there was another one.
Congo?
No, there was another one too that wasn't as popular. It was a book of his. I've got it on my Kindle and I can't think of the damn name, but it's in the jungle and virus. Same
Congo?
It wasn't Congo. Fuck you. It was something else.
That movie teaches you to be scared of monkeys. Monkeys. Which I guess a lot of virus movies kind of do now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I always thought the sign language monkey was creepy enough.
Yeah, me too.
Amy, love, Amy. Get away from me.
Get away from me. Yeah, all I remember from Congo, Bruce Campbell in the opening for no reason, creepy monkey, and Tim Curry gets an weirdly disturbing death.
And the Russian accent.
Yeah, Tim Curry's as a whole, but he gets
Stop eating my sesame cake. I love that line.
Yeah, it's a good line.
Don't forget you got Jodan Baker in the beginning of that movie too.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right.
That was like a fucking pick and mix of the best character actors. You even had Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, Ernie
Yep,
Hudson.
you did.
In that movie as well.
Yeah.
But another fun fact, getting back to Andromeda Strain real quick, another fun fact, at least fun for me, I would be kicking myself if I didn't mention it. It's got Kermit Murdoch in it, who was in an episode of the original Star Trek.
Okay.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Yeah, he was in All Our Yesterdays, so that's always fun for me.
Very cool.
And another fun Star Trek connection while I'm on it is it was directed by Robert Wise, who also directed Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Mm-hmm. I did know that one. That is
Or,
cool.
or the motionless picture, as some people call it.
He also did The Sound of Music and The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yep.
Fun
he
notable.
did. And then the Sound of Music.
Yeah, and the Sound of Music's in there. I know that one's it's weird that one's the outlier, but yeah.
The Trekkies are alive with the sound of science.
It's fun. There are some other fun connections for me. This has Kate Reed in it, who was in an episode called Deadweight of Columbo. So that's kind of fun. And we mentioned Soylent Green earlier. Paula Kelly was in this movie, and she was also in Soylent Green. And a lot of people might not remember this, but she was also Liz in Night Court.
Oh yeah, okay, I know that one.
Yeah, she was Liz the Night Court.
Yeah, I loved Liz. She should have been on for more than one season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but what can you do, you know?
True. And Marky Post is dead.
Thank you for sharing.
I don't know, it just made me cross connection. I'm the person to go to for fun death facts.
Yes, you are.
What does everyone think about Resident Evil? Campbell brought that one up with a sad face.
Play the games, fuck the movies.
Agreed.
I've never watched them because I don't know anything about them or the games.
Yeah.
There's quick answer. They're a terrible adaptation of the games. Not so quick answer. It's Paul Anderson keeping his wife and money in a job.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fun thing about those films is you can usually get them really cheap. Like I picked up, I think I have all of them or almost all of them. I picked them up for 95 cents a piece at the video on DVD.
That's
95 cents. No or anything, but yeah, it's like this. The video store does this thing where if they get too many copies of stuff and it's not moving, they'll just discount the hell out of it. And if it has no case or anything, they'll put it in the 95-cent bin.
Ooh,
Nice.
So I always pick those up. I like to have a complete thing, but you know, if I'm not super into the movie, just the disc is fine. I'll put a case.
I get that.
That's how I got my copies of another awful video game adaptation, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
No.
The one with Angelina Jolie?
I imagine so.
And then they made another one with someone other than Angelina Jolie, right?
Alicia Vikander. That was slightly better. That was kind of closer to the newer games, but they're doing an animated series with your one who plays Peggy in the Marvel movies on Netflix.
Cool.
I always feel like her lips are going to pop out of the screen and get me. It's very scary.
I can see
But that's wild. That woman had wild Botox. It's like,
It's like you don't want to go overboard with your fillers, folks. Come on.
No.
If I want to go wild with Botox.
Don't go wild with Botox.
maybe it's not Botox. Maybe just to make him look full, she sticks her head in like that thing Nicolas Cage was in the Wicker Man remake and gets stung repeatedly.
Burn my eyes! Burn my eyes!
Well, they say the best way is to take fat from your ass and inject it. So you're literally kissing your own ass.
Do I get many movies through Goodwill or thrift stores? I don't as much as I used to, just mostly because I'm broke now. But when I wasn't broke, we have this great video store that sells new DVDs, Blu-rays, books, music, and it's basically they sell everything there. And they have a lot of used product, and I like to buy things used because I'm very thrifty. That's usually where I get it. Get pretty good deals. Sometimes I get stuff off of Amazon if it's cheap enough.
Yeah. Or if you can't find it anywhere else.
Yeah. Like it sucks though, because the market for movies on Amazon is crazy. Because if it's out of print or it's close to being out of print, it's super expensive. And it's like, I'm not paying no $89 for that for DVD. I'm not doing it.
Get that.
But that's the story on that. Getting back to the whole movie thing. I got to talk about it just because I've mentioned it already, and I have facts, so I might as well share them. 2008's The Happening, guys. First off, what did you think of The Happening?
Okay, I'll go first because I have thoughts on this. I don't hate. Why is my boyfriend putting his hand in his face with shame? Okay, so I don't hate The Happening. Like, it's not exactly a good movie, but I don't think it deserves all the hate. Fucking Mark Wahlberg sells it, god damn it. Like, and Leguizamo's, kind of.
Hey guys, have you heard about the bees? That's What's crazy about the bees, huh?
No,
Weird.
no, like
Bees.
they were trying to do a campy thing.
No. I always have called bullshit on that. I firmly think Shyamalan intended to make a serious like virus movie.
I don't.
But then he realized oh God, this is terrible. I'm gonna market it as a comedy.
It is. There's too many funny parts.
And there are people who worked on the movie that can back me up on that.
What do they know?
There is crew that says that that's exactly what happened. That it was supposed to be a serious film, and then it just turned out terrible.
No, it's funny. I love it when he's talking to the plant. You know, I fucking love that scene. Fuck you all. Fucking snobs is what you people are.
Are you going to kill me? What? No.
And then okay, so John Leguizamo's gonna probably bite the big one. Spoilers for anyone out there who hasn't seen it. But I mean, he's like, I'm gonna die any minute because he gives her his little girl and he says, "Don't take her hand." What was that? You can.
I don't even. I saw the movie like once ages ago, and I just remember the few lines.
I saw it in a theater. I don't hate it. Now, granted, I Mark Wahlberg.
You're a Mark Wahlberg apologist.
I'm not an Mark Wahlberg. I'm not. I just don't think it's that bad of a movie.
What I don't understand is why is Leguizamo making like a face like he's had a stroke or something? Like he looks like half his face is paralyzed. Like what's
called
happening?
Acting, Ethel. He's giving an intense performance.
No.
It's called acting with your eyes and facial muscles.
No, I don't think so.
It's all about the math, guys.
Marty, back me up, babe. Back me up. He's not good.
What are your thoughts on this movie, Marty? What do you think is happening?
He loves it.
So it was revealed that Mark Wahlberg blinded an Asian man in his younger years, but I still think this movie is the worst fucking thing he's done. Okay.
He said he was sorry.
He said he was. Did he say he was sorry for this fucking thing?
No, he said it was a comedy and you people just don't understand. He sent me a letter and said I was like a smart film person. I'm the only one who truly gets fine cinema.
Mark Wahlberg has said that he regrets doing this film, and he said he only did this film because it gave him the chance to be a science teacher and not like a criminal or something. Like, so I don't know. I mean, it's got that.
We had dialogue with like a soldier saying, "Oh, cheese and crackers," when he finds out some of the people have like gone missing. Instead of swearing, he goes, "Oh, cheese and crackers." Or your man from Dr. Quinn, the postman from Dr. Quinn, who plays the horticulturalist, who's like, "Oh, you know, hot dogs get a bad rap. They're full of protein. They're good for you. People like hot dogs." It's like, who fucking wrote this? I want this person found. I want them killed.
What about the stupid hot dog line?
No, stupid hot dog line. Hot dogs are good for you. It was a personal message. It was a personal message.
Ben was not wrong. He was not wrong. Hot dogs are good.
See, there you go.
They are. They are full of nitrates and the
cheese and crackers line, it's Marty, it's Mark fucking Wahlberg. He can make anything.
He doesn't deliver that line. He doesn't deliver that line. It's a soldier. It's a hard-bitten soldier who finds out his unit has been wiped out. He says cheese and crackers.
It's still okay.
And people bitch about it, but I think The Beach. Is it The Beach? His last one that came out?
Yeah, Older. What was it called?
Older.
Yeah.
Older. I think Older is way fucking better than this piece of shit.
We still haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it, can't speak. Right. I'm that guy that says Shyamalan's worst movie is Signs. So yeah, Happening is not a good film.
I don't think it's a bad film. I think you people just don't see the genius of it. Time's going to prove me right on this.
I don't think it is.
For more fun trivia about this movie, Shyamalan, he wrote this film with Wahlberg in mind to play the main character. So, like, this was written specifically for Mark Wahlberg, if that helps.
See, who else but Mark Wahlberg could do this role? God damn it!
For the love of all, why sabotage your movie by put? I love Mark Wahlberg. He can do comedy. He does seem regretful for what he's done in the past. But this is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I hate this movie. I can't stand this movie. I went in the bit with the guy in the tiger enclosure, the lion enclosure, and his arms ripped off, and he's petting the lion. And I was like, "The fuck you doing?"
I actually like that part. I liked that part. I reminded Trenchy about that like a few days ago. We were talking about this movie, and he'd forgotten completely about it. And like, as you can imagine, he was delighted.
Yeah.
Or the motherfuckers lying down in front of the lawnmowers.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. That movie gives me good vibrations.
An uncommon thing about this film is it was shot in sequence, which, as you guys know, is really odd for a movie. Usually, they're all shot whatever's more convenient to shoot first. But yeah, they shot this in sequence, and Shyamalan did say after the movie came out, he's like, "Oh well, I'm trying to make a B movie now. Whether or not this is an excuse or not, I don't know."
I'm on team B movie for this.
No.
It just
And the
gives
fucking
me
the subplot with the mood ring.
well, that's a
Oh
big.
God, you're right. God, the more I remember about the movie, the more stupid it becomes.
Hey, Marty, is this one good for our Trash Fire Cinema
Holy
one
shit,
day?
it is.
No. The rule of trash fire is it has to be shite, but one of us at least gets some enjoyment out of it. Fuck, we're gonna have to watch that piece of shit.
Marty.
But Marty, it was
we watch it, but we're watching a Neil Breen movie the week after.
Hell yeah.
It was the plants the whole time, guys. The plants made the virus to make the people commit suicide. It's not convoluted or stupid at all.
And then it starts all over again at the end.
Oh my God, that's right, it does.
It's like sunrise, sunset.
God, I hate this movie.
I'll put on a mood ring.
I want to punch someone with a mood ring.
Another fun fact about this film, which knowing that Wahlberg was in Shyamalan's mind when he was writing this, the character, Deschanel's character, has the same name as Wahlberg's actual real life mother. Just kind of weird.
Weird.
It helps him get in character more.
Did he want to bang his mother? Is that a thing about Mark Wahlberg I don't know?
Well, Shyamalan wrote it. So, in fairness, Shyamalan wants Wahlberg to bang his mother.
Huh.
Hey, did you name the character like my mom? Huh? Hey there, bud. Hey, dude. Good vibes. Yeah.
Say hi to my mother for me.
What? Listen here, we've got a twist. Your girlfriend put your mom's name. It's a twist.
Ethel, the only thing being twisted with this movie was my balls. Trying to fucking sit through watching it. That's the fucking only thing. Oh.
There is another Mark Wahlberg movie that I love more that most people hate.
Yeah, that one also would be a good trash fire.
I might let Marty off the hook and do that one.
That'd be a good one.
All I can say is at least they weren't screwing over Planet of the Apes with Wahlberg this time. That's all I can say.
It's funny you mentioned that.
I thought you were talking about the third one. I thought you were talking about the third terrible Mark Wahlberg movie you love. You were talking about that one. Oh no.
I adore that movie. You all are wrong. You all are fucking wrong about that I stand up for that movie.
But I don't know. It gave us some moments, and it's a bad movie. It's a very bad movie.
Yes.
And I've probably seen it many times. But yeah, I've watched it. I watch it. I own it. It's happening.
Fuck you and your bees.
But you know,
That movie had a buzz to it.
God, it's too early for this.
so talking about a movie that doesn't suck. 28 days later, Marty, you have it on your table, man. What do you think?
I adore this movie. I think it reinvigorated the zombie genre. Danny Boyle done a fantastic movie that looks like it has an epic scope, but it was actually done in a fairly shoestring budget. Stars one of the best Irish actors out there, Cillian Murphy as Jim, bicycle courier who is in a coma, and a lot of people are like compare this to The Walking Dead, the opening for that, but the actual idea of that opening is from an English science fiction novel by John Wyndham called David Triffitt's. But yeah, it's same thing, a character waking up in a hospital, going into desolated London. But yeah, fantastic movie, great cast, two great Irish actors, Brendan Gleeson, Cillian Murphy, Naomi Harris, I think. Who else? Christopher Eccleston. The ninth, the eighth or ninth, the ninth Doctor, and yeah, it's great. It's the virus is like you're literally kind of just infused with animalistic rage, and if you get a slight nip or scratch, you're screwed. And it's like some of the shots. It's like there's some shots done from CCTV in like where the petrol station blows up. That adds to the realism. And I think they filmed it at like 5 o'clock in the morning in London on a weekday, so they had the streets kind of like totally desolated. And Boyle went into a lot of research. He done like, okay, how did people communicate with each other for like during tsunamis? That's why there's a big billboard in the middle of Piccadilly Square with all notes and messages from people. And it's an absolutely awesome movie. And I would put it up there with like some of the greatest, with the Romero zombie movies as a great kind of a disaster virus movie and a zombie movie.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Fucking pissed off zombies.
Fucking pissed off zombies.
It did sort of give that whole genre a shot in the arm it needed at the time, you know, because it was lagging a lot.
Yeah. It was because people were kind of saying,
I correct me if I'm wrong. I can't think of a single zombie movie that came out in the 90s that like was super successful or really that well regarded. Like Return of the Living Dead 3 is like the only thing that comes to mind. So, yeah.
This gave it a real shot in the arm, and it did Romero proud. You know, it really did. You felt like this would have been something. Okay, cool. Yeah. And it's so fucking dark.
Yeah. Like I was watching it today. Actually, I was like, I forget how dark that movie gets at points.
Yeah.
It would have been a hell of a lot darker if they went with the original ending, where Jim dies. Jim dies and is left in the hospital, and the two female characters have to just go off and kind of slug it out themselves. It's a fantastic movie.
Would that have been a better ending?
I like the ending as is, but I do also like the alternate ending. I think that one's also pretty good. It probably fits in tone with the movie a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good. A good way to end it. I wouldn't change it personally. I think it works. Yeah. But yeah, you had to mention it. It's a big deal. I guess the other big deal for this genre would be Outbreak, which doesn't feature zombies, but you know.
Goddamn monkeys.
It comes back to monkeys,
It
doesn't
always
it?
comes back to monkeys.
How do you feel
That
about
fucking
Outbreak? 'Cause I
monkey.
wanted to watch it. When the pandemic was first starting, because of course I did.
Okay, so I have the weirdest way of being introduced to Outbreak. I was made aware of Outbreak through Clerks the Animated Series because they did a whole episode that was just a parody of Outbreak. And honestly, like having seen the proper movie itself, I kind of like the Clerks episode better.
I haven't seen the Clerks.
It's really good. It's really good.
Oh yeah, which
James
that was a
Woods
pretty.
Voice in it. It has my favorite joke of the entire series because there's a bit where they're doing a press conference and the mayor of the town was going to a costume party and he was just dressed as the fucking Mayor McCheese, and so somebody in the press just asked, "Does anybody can the virus stop the grimace?" Nothing can stop the grimace. I love that line. It's so good.
I
Hey, Revy.
like how. No, sorry.
Oh no, Revy reviews just came into the chat. And Ben.
Yo,
Revy and Ben
Hey, Ben.
just come into the chat.
Yeah, but I like how they have the pet shop owner move in next door, and they're like, "Oh, it's Patrick Swayze," and then who do they get to voice it? Godfrey.
It's Gilbert Godfrey voicing Patrick Swayze. It's awesome.
Oh my god,
Yeah, it's great.
that's a mind fuck right there.
It's so good. It's so good. And like I said, it has my favorite joke of probably the entire series, or at least one of them.
How do you feel about the actual movie?
Outbreak is fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's solid. It's not a favorite though.
Why do you think so many people turn to it?
I don't know.
There is some really cool, interesting sequences, like fucking
Totally.
terrifying sequences. The bit in the cinema where it
Yeah.
shows your man sneeze and it just fucking passes on, and then it shows the virus going through the ventilation system
Yeah.
of the hospital.
That's actually my favorite scene.
Yeah, that scene's probably the highlight of the movie, honestly, for me. It has some cool ideas. Just overall, I wasn't that engaged by it, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, and like, you know, that monkey, it had to do something to get it onto TV, and god damn it, if he's not running amok in Ross's apartment, he's getting people sick. Fucking monkey. Damn you, Marcel.
You killed so many people. Ethel, have you seen a Robot Chicken episode with Curious George? And Curious George spreads the hantavirus, and like people are dying. And if the nuke, it's like George looked up to see a silver bird, and it's just a plane dropping a nuke on downtown Manhattan.
So good. I forgot about that bit. That was a good sketch.
No, I missed out on that one because I don't have Adult Swim, but you know, had to be good. That show is funny though. I've seen some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we mentioned television because I mentioned Friends, so that automatically is going to segue nicely into mentioning a TV show all about viruses and responding to viruses. The Burning Zone. Have you guys seen this show?
No,
Yeah,
I
What's the
haven't.
Burning Zone.
What?
You
D-
no?
d-
Never heard of this.
I
This is the
haven't.
first time
It
I've ever heard of
was
this.
It was a really good sci-fi show in the late 90s. Came out roughly the midpoint of the X-Files, right? Jeffrey
Yeah.
Dean Morgan was in it,
Ooh.
and it was about this team that were like they responded to different viral outbreaks, and they were also against this shadowy agency who were trying to stop the most dangerous virus of all. Man,
Man.
it was so fucking. It was fun. It was riding the coattails of the X-Files at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I was able to find it on YouTube, Ethel, the entire series. And
Ooh.
ironically, the ones from YouTube were actually uploaded from the Irish station I originally watched it on. It was like weird.
Nice.
Very cool.
I'll have to look into this
Oh.
then.
Yeah, like definitely. And folks in the chat, if you haven't seen it, you're interested, it's on YouTube. So check it out before somebody flags it and it gets taken down and the copyright gods descend upon us all.
Ooh.
It's basically Negan and a bunch of people trying to stop viruses.
Nice.
That sounds fun.
Oh, yeah, Brian's mentioning the Crazies.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, the crazies.
underappreciated Romero.
Yeah, it really is. He sure did like to do viruses, huh?
He did do, yeah, he did a couple of them. Now I think about it.
Yeah.
It was more anti-authority and anti-government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Romero was more towards like like the Night of the Living Dead is an analogy like for kind of the race riots and the kind of the uprising of the government and kind of the counterculture, and the crazies is kind of like an analogy to the military going in and using biological weapons on the civilian kind of populace, like using Agent Orange on the Vietnamese and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he couldn't say that, so we had to cleverly disguise it.
Great movie.
Yeah, every film the guy makes, Romero, he's big into doing the subtext. Got to have a message in there. Good.
Yeah.
I like it. Cool. I like Romero. It's sadly no longer with us, but
No. Left a great legacy though.
we did get one more zombie film out of him before he departed. It was Land of the Dead, was it not, guys? Is that the last one
No,
he made?
Island of the Dead.
Survival of the Dead.
There was Land of the Dead. He made a new trilogy: Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and Island of the Dead. I think I'm pretty sure.
Survival of the Dead.
Survival of the Dead. Sorry, Christian, you're right.
Yeah.
Survival of the Dead. Yeah, and Diary of the Dead was kind of weird. Very, very much a departure from like the sort of budget films we were used to from him.
It wasn't very good.
It's Romero's worst movie.
It wasn't.
Survival was okay.
Dude, it's not as bad as Survival. Survival.
Honestly, I think Survival's better. Like, Survival's also not great, but I think Survival's better than Diary.
Fudge off. Will you go away? Survival is muck, man. It's like, okay. I'll give you an example, Christian. There's a guy fishing who pulls a zombie up out of the water and gets bitten.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the point of that?
What was the point of having a redneck character have a theme song that was literally just a generic stock country music going on constantly, even in like super tense, serious scenes, her theme's going on? What was the point of that?
I
don't know, but it made more sense than a guy fishing for zombies and then getting surprised when he got bitten.
Look, can we just agree both movies are not particularly good and Land of the Dead's kind of underrated? Can we just agree?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
But
Hey, Trenchy.
Yo, Trench.
Hey, Trench.
Trenchy, which is the one with the zombie chick with the horse? The horse.
Oh, Survival.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I always
Always
hear
forget
horse
about
with no name on whenever I see that scene.
I get that. I can see that.
Zombie strippers. Oh yeah, that's another one convention.
That's a classic right there.
Zombie strippers. There's strippers and there's zombies.
It's classic.
I would pay a 20 to see
It
a
is-
zombies.
I'll give zombie strippers this. It is probably the best strippers for a horror movie.
I can't
It's
argue.
not saying much, but it's the best stripper horror movie I can think of. At least it's not strippers versus werewolves.
I don't hate that one.
You just
Well,
like.
what about fucking From Dusk Till Dawn, Christian?
Oh, yeah.
Or Van?
Shit, you're right. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, yeah.
I don't like Dusk Till Dawn.
Another stream. You just don't like the
Yeah, that'd be a vampire stream.
Yeah.
Which I have seen some movies that talk about vampires as if that's a virus too. Because there are some movies. Modern Vampires springs to mind. They did that in that movie too.
Yeah,
There's a movie called The Afflicted, where this guy he has what the fuck is it? Sudden death syndrome, and he goes on a tour of Europe to try and just discover himself. And this chick takes pity on him, and she bites him, and then he realizes, oh, I can punch through concrete. I cannot run a motorbike. I'm a vampire. So like he decides to go home. He decides to try and find her, and she's like, look, I can't even kill you now if I wanted. So he starts eating pedophiles. Happy ending.
Yeah,
Happy ending.
I think so.
It's a good movie.
It's a found footage movie. It's pretty cool. It's called The Afflicted.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Better found footage movies.
Yes, it
But,
was
oh,
about a person who thinks. Brian was asking, wasn't Romero's Marty about a person who thinks he's a vampire? Yes, it was. It's
It
a
was
very.
metaphor for drug addiction.
It was a very underrated. You never hear
Yeah.
people talking about
Super
that one.
underappreciated.
I love that movie.
yeah, it gets forgotten like the Crazies usually gets forgotten. I always forget about the Crazies.
Some people say
I think it was Tom Savini's first acting gig as well. He turns up as a friend of the family.
That's right, he does.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, along with these movies, sort of segueing away from that a little bit, you got 12 Monkeys, guys, which, gotta mention 12 Monkeys.
I
That's a
always
virus.
forget that it's a virus movie, honestly.
It's many things.
Yeah,
Let's be
12
honest.
Monkeys is a lot of things.
It's got a
great-
lot going on.
As a kid, I didn't understand it. Your Graham loved that movie, and I
You
was.
didn't get what the hubbub was?
I didn't. Yeah, I was like, okay, this hurts my brain a little bit. This one hurts my
I
brain.
get that.
It's actually a remake of a French movie from 1962 called Le Jetty.
You were telling me.
I think means the pier, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. My French is shite. But Terry Gilliam was a big fan of the movie, and he remade it.
What do you think
Oh
of it?
yeah, it's a Gilliam movie.
Yeah.
I always forget that it's a Gilliam film.
How can you? It kind of.
Yeah, it's very Gilliam, and it's one of those ones I always like. Oh yeah, it's a Gilliam film, even though everything about that movie screams Gilliam.
Yeah, it really does. How do you feel about it, Marty? Like, do you think it's good or a little bit too much of a mess?
No, I actually like it a lot. Bruce Willis is like whether Bruce Willis is actually genuinely confused and he's acting and a lens to it, or he's just acting really well as a dude who's confused that he's like bouncing back and forth through time. He does a good job. Probably one of his best, more serious performances, where he's not being a lovable goof for not like often terrorists. This is actually a fairly good kind of thing of a Brad Pitt.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, like I'm amazed his teeth didn't fall out with all the fucking scenery he was chewing.
Madeline
well, yeah,
Stowe. Madeline Stowe's in it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I always thought she was pretty. I always
She
thought
is.
she was pretty.
She is pretty.
It's got a lot going on, which is nice because you're never bored watching that. You're never bored with 12 Monkeys.
No.
It's very much like busy. It's a very busy film. That's what I'll say about it. It's very busy.
there's a
Yeah.
lot going on.
It's one of those movies you can honestly forget. Oh yeah, it's also a virus movie.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I think that's kind of the fact that it's so busy is kind of ultimately its major flaw for me. I think there's a little too much going on in that movie for its own good.
I get that.
But I don't mind it. I like it. As a virus movie, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have done? I know it did well, but I mean, do you think it would have done better if they'd broken it into 2 films and sort of gave it more time to breathe?
Possibly, actually, it's one of those movies now that I kind of am sitting there like it probably would have done best as like a 1-season like TV series or something.
Yeah.
To give it a lot.
Christian, surprisingly, they did make, I think 2014, 2015, they made a TV series, and I think it got 2 seasons, and it never made it to the latter season.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems about right for it for me. It's one of those stories that kind of makes more sense for TV than a condensed like 2-hour-long movie.
Yeah, I get that. It might have helped.
Some things just need television, Yeah. Because you sacrifice budget, but you have more time to actually tell the story, and you're not throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the viewer.
Yeah, it was a little overwhelming. As a kid, that was a movie that was a little bit overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
Whoa. These Blu-rays.
Well, Gilliam's commentaries are always fun.
Oh yeah.
I love all of his commentaries. Trek usually does.
He's an
It's
artist.
sad.
Oh, Tideland.
It's sad that commentaries are starting to become a thing that's not available anymore. Like,
I
you're
know.
not seeing.
They're
Like,
real good research.
Yeah,
I think it might be due to because did you ever notice like recently, well not that recently, maybe since 2010, a lot of commentaries, a lot of DVDs when the movie starts, the following commentaries are just the expressions of the
Yeah.
director and the cast and don't represent the studio. I think people are like, oh, okay, if someone says something fucking stupid, like Terminator 3, Arnie was saying he liked big tits. He literally said, oh, I wanted that scene in because I wanted women to have big tits. And apparently got a lot of backlash. So,
But I mean,
like,
everybody loves big tits.
But-
Who hates big tits?
But I countered that with saying the commentary track for Terminator 3 is the best part of the movie.
there's some good parts in that movie.
There's some okay parts, but the only reason I own Terminator 3 is just for that commentary track, if I'm going to be honest.
well, the part with the basket was pretty boss. Like, you can't deny that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And then there's the other movie.
Yeah, and then there's
Like,
Salvation and Genesis.
like that could be the issue. It's just studios, they don't want to be held liable for these people's commentaries, so maybe it's just easier not to have them, or whatever their issue is. But like, you fucking people need to be able to just have an opinion, especially about something they worked on and created. And damn it, I want to hear it. I want to hear their opinion.
Yeah, and then sometimes there's movies that are leaving up to the interpretation, and it's kind of nice to hear.
Gilliam's movies are a lot like that. Like,
Yeah.
Like Brazil. Brazil was one that I honestly didn't like that much, and then I listened to the commentary track for it, and it's like, oh. Then I watched the actual proper cut of the film. It's like, oh, this movie's genius.
I get it.
Yeah. Oh, this movie's genius.
But like, I don't know, if Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to say he likes big boobies, I don't think people should crucify him for that. He's just telling the truth.
Yeah, everyone loves boobies. Boobies makes the world happy.
We wanted to cater for women with the big boobies and the small boobies, so boobies could go in and out and up and down.
But it's unfair to criticize him for that. Just let the man have his tatas. Let him have his tatas.
Even if he had said I wanted big penises, I mean, that's okay too.
I would have been. Yeah. You go, Arnold.
Keep in mind, though, Jen, this is a guy who had a line in his autobiography is, at the end of the day, pussy eating ain't cheating. It's like, whoa, Arnie, come on, hold on a minute now. Hold on.
Oh, Arnie.
It's fine.
He's a lovable goof.
He's
a lovable Austrian goof.
What does everyone think of Shivers? Brian brought up Shivers too. It's another Cronenberg.
It's good.
I liked it. Sexually transmitted diseases.
It's STDs, the horror movie.
Little Larry for the win. Little Larry is gorgeous in that movie.
Yeah. Which one's better,
Well, wait.
Rabbit or
Rabbit.
Well, wait, Shivers, that was with the slugs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, is that technically not a virus though? That's a parasite.
That's true.
Can they be the same thing?
Not really. Scientifically, they're different categories.
Almost saying. Fine.
Otherwise, I would have used a picture of that for the thumbnail in there. Would have found something from that.
Hell yeah.
Put those slugs on there.
Sexy.
That awful scene in the bathtub. Oh,
I love that scene.
That scene's so good. That seems like the best part of that movie.
It's sexy.
They tried to
movie
James Gunn tried. Oh, sorry, Ethel, go on.
I was just saying, it's a good movie in its own right, though. I do like that film. What were you going to say, Marty?
No, just James Gunn tried replicating that scene in Slither, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I always see Slither, and I always get it confused with Shivers, and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't the same film. I'm trying to be. It wants to be.
Yeah, it's close, but not exactly a cigar.
No.
Not exactly.
You know what? You know what? You know what? Shivers would have been a better movie if Nathan Fillion had been in it. I think myself and Ethel could agree on that.
I can agree with that
If
too.
Nathan Fillion had turned up,
Yeah.
it's been like, okay, ladies, calm your shit down. Get your penis worms out of your throats and calm your shit down, okay?
Mark Wahlberg.
No, Nathan Fillion's way sexier.
No, Mark Wahlberg
No,
for me.
No,
No.
Nathan Fillion is
No.
way sexier.
No, hey guys, have you heard about this?
What? You're not more sexy.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah. See, you've broken your man. You broke him. He's confused and horrified by the fact that Mark Wahlberg is sexier than Nathan Fillion.
Jen, do I have to punch out an Asian man's eye to get your appreciation?
No, you just have to take me on a roller coaster ride, Marty. You just have to take me on a roller coaster.
Oh,
ride.
I like that movie. I love that movie.
Horses.
That's an awesome movie.
See, that's what started it with me. It was that movie.
Wild horses.
I think Marty's forgiven me now.
Okay.
I think.
But yeah, moving away from that, another movie we got to talk about, which is a movie that's made. It's a remake of another movie called Last Man on Earth. I Am Legend. Got to talk about that a little bit. Zombies, but not zombies.
Yeah.
Will Smith loves Bob Marley, guys. You know.
Will Smith loves Bob Marley and his dog.
How do you? Because you.
I Am Legend is legit one of my favorite books of all time.
I knew that.
My favorite out of all of them is probably the Vincent Price one from the 50s. The Will Smith
Yeah.
one is...
The Last Man on Earth, Omega Man, is ridiculous.
Yeah, Omega Man's kind of goofy. I like it better than honestly, I Am Legend's my least favorite out of all three of them.
The latter adaptations lose the point that the character of Neville is a throwback to evolution. The infected are the new kind of race that are taking over.
Yeah.
And he's the monster
He's the
they
monster.
tell their children about.
Yeah.
He is legend.
He is the legend.
He is the thing that hunts them down and kills them.
Mhm.
And they're like the new kind of step. Yes, they came about via virus, but they are the new human race. And he's basically a creature from the past that's killing them. And he is legend. That is the point of that book.
Yeah, he's legend. He's the boogeyman.
So why is the Will Smith one? Because I've heard a lot of people say this.
It just kind of loses, like Marty said, it loses that element from the book, and it doesn't work as well. It just, I don't know. It never did much for me.
Like there's some cool parts in the book. I mean, he burns down, like he goes over his daily regime of burning down the two houses at either side of him. He learns tattooing so he can tattoo. Keep in mind now, this is primarily the main story is they're vampires. There's no fucking bullshit around. In the original book, they're vampires. So
Yeah.
he tattoos crucifixes all over his body, and they're like, holy shit, if I was in a world populated by vampires, I would do this. And it's an awesome book.
I get that.
Yeah, it loses all of the cool elements from the book to me, and it kind of becomes a man and his dog in the post-apocalypse story, which is not bad. It just isn't the book.
Gotcha. If it had been another name, maybe.
Yeah.
I always liked it. You know, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't expect it to be very good. And the poster always reminds me of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
Very cool.
anytime I'm put in the mind of Fallout, I'm happy. So
Same.
you know.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
I'm still irritated that we haven't gotten that TV series from Amazon, because like they're supposed to have been working on this before the whole Corona thing happened, and like we haven't heard peep about it.
Nope.
I'd say I'd say Fallout's legitimacy was seriously sorry, going off of the sidetrack, but I'll be quick. Fallout 78 really fucking kind of put a dampener on the fandom for the Fallout series because it was an absolute buggy fucking mess.
Yeah.
I thought all the games were good. I thought you loved all the games.
No, 76 wasn't that good.
Oh.
Even 4, I have a lot of issues with. It's really mainly like 2, 3, and New Vegas.
Like New Vegas, honestly, is the best out of all of them. A lot of people say 3 is, but no, it's New Vegas. That's the only correct answer. And if you're not playing it on PC,
I'm with you. What other Fallout games has Chandler as the bad guy, the main villain in the game?
Oh yeah. No, I'm with you. I was one of those assholes that said Fallout 3 for a while, but having recently revisited New Vegas, that game is easily better.
Yeah, well, like the thing I like about and we're way off topic, but I'm just gonna wrap this topic up and get back to the primary one, just because I like Fallout. God damn it, it's my show. But the thing that makes New Vegas better for me anyway is it's more open. There's more you can do.
Yeah.
Fallout 3, it's like you can do other stuff. You don't have to play the main storyline, but you run out of stuff to do after a little while, and it seems to really push you into that storyline, whether you want to follow it or not. And New Vegas is just like, do whatever you want. You fight Caesar or not. We don't care. But I don't know. Lovely game, wonderful series. I wish it would be made into a show already, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, John Steele's in there.
Yo, John.
Hi, John.
Hey, John.
But we'll go back onto the primary topic now that we've departed pretty far. Another movie, a movie I haven't seen, ironically, because of what it's called, Blindness. Have you guys seen this film?
I have.
Yeah.
Is it the one with what's her name, Marty?
Julianne Moore.
Thank you. That's the one. Yeah, I have. And there's a book too. There's a book. It's based off a book.
Is this the one about where the disease or the virus causes people to go blind? I think
Mark Ruffalo and something Martinez. Mm-hmm. He plays the sexy Mexican bad guy in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
that premise is so familiar. I know I've seen this movie, but I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about it.
It's not bad. I like it. I want to like it more than I do, but I do like it. If it's one of those movies, I like it, but I think I should like it more.
Okay.
How do you feel about it, Marty?
It's good. I just think it had. I think it had the worst luck. And I don't know if this is going to be jumping on point if Vettel considers this a virus movie, but it had very bad luck with coming around the same time as the movie I think is fantastic, Children of Men, which also starred Julianne Moore.
It did.
And it got completely overshadowed by Children of Men. I don't know. Would Children of Men be considered a virus movie?
Sort of.
I have not seen Children of Men, so I could not say, but.
Basically, a kind of a viral bug makes all the women infertile, and the planet is good. The population is going to be gone in 70 years, and Clive Owen has to bring the last pregnant woman to refuge. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. But it's caused by an insect or
no, a viral bug.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, it's a virus. It's totally a virus movie then.
I would say so.
Children of Men is awesome.
But Blindness isn't bad. Blindness is good. It's not a bad movie, but there's something lacking about that movie too. And I don't know exactly why it is, but there's something lacking with that movie.
No, it doesn't. Children of Men, you get a bigger exploration of the world, while Blindness feels very self-contained and you don't really see the effect on the greater society. It's just all the population in the city, I think.
Yeah. It's not bad. I would recommend watching it. It's-
I know I've seen it because that premise sounds so familiar, but I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
I get
I
that.
might have watched it like at a 3 a.m. and was drifting in and out of consciousness while watching it one night or something.
I think it's one it's worth checking out.
Worth checking
Maybe on a rewatch.
Okay.
So sometimes
Ben-
that's the best. Oh, sorry.
I just saw Ben Grimm bring up Why the Last Man. Yeah, that's another good one as well. It's based on a really good comic book, Ethel, if you haven't seen it. It's like everyone with a Y chromosome dies. And there's like one male left called Yorick, and he's monkey. And you have to say, I was telling Jen about it. There's like different cults and fractions. Like there's women who find out he exists, and they're like, we gotta kill him because the world's better now that we're in charge. They're called the Amazons, and they hack off their left hit. It's like, okay.
Well, that
Yeah.
that goes back to what Amazon actually means. Is it means one breast? Because it goes back.
Was it something to do with their archery? They were better archers with like one boob.
Well, what it is it goes back to ancient Greek, where the Amazons they were a real people, and what they did was they'd actually tie down one of their boobs, and like with cloth or whatever, they'd strap it down real tight, so it looks like they only have one breast, and that's where the name came from, and it was all about the archery, but
Yeah.
they actually did not cut off their boob; they just tied it down really, really tightly.
Tie your boobie down.
Tie your boobie down.
Damn fake news. Newsflash. These women didn't cut off their tits.
But that's more metal. Like,
It is more metal than just cut
just
off
like
your tits.
like put your boob on the table and just go I don't know,
I am not for that. I like having a set. Well,
a set, yeah.
Hey, Jen.
it's something pairs.
Jen scrambled the roll.
I knew you were gonna do
I
that.
see breakfast.
You could live off of one scrambled egg, couldn't you, Marty?
Okay, I suppose. I'd miss your tatas though. I would miss your tatas.
Oh,
You know, I'm just having flashbacks to all the talks I've had over how many breasts are too many breasts.
how many are too many breasts for you?
5. Because 3, you got 3. You think of Total Recall. 4, it's nice and symmetrical. 5, that's just unsymmetrical. And
Well,
Where did you put the 5th?
I don't know.
No, 3 is the right answer because you can put one hand on one side, one hand on the
That's
other,
okay.
and your face.
Well, like, that's great and all, and Total Recall for the win, but it's so unsymmetrical.
No, it works because
My OCD ass needs them to be symmetrical.
I just think it's hard. It's hard enough finding the good flaw as it is. 3 boobs would just complicate this.
True.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. And then, God, plastic surgery would even be more expensive.
True.
Although I guess you could get you could have a hard boob and a soft boob, and
A medium, a just right boob.
Booby locks.
Exactly.
But yeah. So getting back to the conversation.
Time.
Last Man on Earth. We briefly mentioned it. Vincent Price. Good film. I know in the comments Brian doesn't care for it. That's okay. We have it to thank conceivably for zombie movies in general, even though they're vampires in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
Yeah.
like, because I know Romero is always the one credited with inventing zombie films, but I always see that as more of a precursor because it's the same kind of theme, except the only difference is they're sucking your blood and not eating you. That's the only difference.
Ethel, I think Romero is cited as the the Richard Matheson novel I Am Legend as being one of the inspirations
Yeah, it
for
was.
Night of the Living Dead as well.
Which
Yeah, I
anyway,
think
that's
He was reading the book and he got the idea of the dead taking over the earth and took that into the movie.
it's weird how one thing will connect to another.
Yeah.
I always feel like that one gets sort of forgotten, which is weird because it's got Vincent Price in it. He's such a big
and
star.
He gives a great performance in the movie too. It's one of his best performances.
Yeah. Well, no, his best performance is definitely in the Ten Commandments.
No, it's not.
His best performance was on the 1960s Batman when he played Egghead.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
Ken.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
you're right.
Egghead.
That is his
Egghead's
best
the best.
performance. You are correct.
And where else are you going to see Vincent Price riding a donkey? Come on.
Doesn't he try feeding the dynamic duo to a dinosaur? It's just a guy in a really bad dinosaur suit.
Yep. This is why 60s Batman is the greatest show ever made.
Which, that's always fun when you feed Batman and Robin to a dinosaur.
Yay. Did that happen in the comics or anything?
There's plenty of stories where Batman's been eaten by dinosaurs.
That's old hat.
Yeah, that's kind of old. Dude, there's a story where Batman goes to the center of the earth and meets like fish people and stuff. It's weird. Comics is weird.
Batman's worked alongside Sherlock Holmes, Columbo, fought Predator, fought Dracula. There's very little Batman hasn't fucking done. It'd probably be easier to do a list of things Batman hasn't fucking done, Jen.
I will confess. I will confess. Columbo is a better detective than Batman. I'm going to contest that right now.
Okay. I can see both points. Points.
You're actually right, Ethel, because he figures out who Batman is.
Yep.
He's like he susses out at the start of the comic.
Oh, did they get his famous "just one more thing" line in there?
Yeah,
They do.
yeah.
Yeah. No, Columbo is in a very small list of people who figured that one out. With Bane and the Riddler. Weird choices.
Joker never did?
Recently they've stated he did, but not traditionally, no.
One of these days I'm gonna break format and I'm gonna do a Columbo stream, but I gotta wait for maybe I do that on April Fool.
Would be great. That'd be a great April Fool's Day stream.
That would be.
But yeah. So mentioned Last Man on Earth, mentioned I Am Legend. You had to mention those. Another one. I have not seen this one either. Black Death. Have you guys seen this one?
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar. Marty,
No.
premise.
Sean Bean leads a bunch of crusaders and a
Oh
monk
shit! Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
to find a village that somehow has avoided the Black Death, so they can suss out what the cure is or if it's witchcraft. And suffice to say, it's a Sean Bean medieval movie, so the bastard doesn't make it to the closing credits.
Spoiler, Marty.
Oh yeah, I'm spoiling a movie where Sean Bean fucking dies. The water is wet, the sun is yellow, and fucking Sean Bean dies in a movie where he's wearing chainmail and a sword.
Dude,
Shock fucking horror.
Dude, the only way you can spoil the only Sean Bean movie you can spoil is Silent Hill. It's the only one.
Pretty much.
Oh my god, he lived. What the fuck?
Spoiler, Christian.
I'm sorry, Sean Bean lives in that one.
When did I become the spoiler
All right.
police?
No.
I take it Black Death is not a very good movie. Is basically what I'm garnering from that.
Starts off really, really good, and then goes a bit fucking arse over tit near the end, because it turns out it is witchcraft, And yeah, there's another. It's like a spin-off of Game of Thrones because you've Sean Bean playing a kind of knight character, and then you have the chick who plays Melisandre playing a witch. Wow. Way not to pigeonhole yourself into a fucking role, guys. It tries to be seriously a serious kind of like hard bitten kind of movie. It tries to do Umberto Eco's In the Name of the Rose, but it goes supernatural near the end and totally hobbles it.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Charles.
Hello, Charles.
Welcome.
Yeah. Then we talked about 12 Monkeys already, man. So sorry, but yeah, no. But we were saying how busy a film that was when we were mentioning it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got two great genres. You got time travel and you got viruses all mushed together in a nice little sandwich. A mushy sandwich of entertainment.
Nice salty sandwich. I don't think salt.
Why is time travel salty?
I don't know. It just is in my mind.
Because you're going through the sands of time?
Yes.
And sand is salty?
Sand is salty.
Of course, other movies. You got Cassandra's Crossing, which I saw a long time ago. Do you guys remember that movie at all?
I haven't. Have you?
No.
No.
I
Never
feel
heard of this one.
I feel like a
What
slacker.
about it though?
If I remember correctly, this was a 1970s film, so of course I've seen this one.
Yeah, of course you have.
Because that's where I live with movies. Basically, I believe it takes place in London, if I remember right, and there's a virus, and they're trying to escape on the subways, and it's basically kind of cookie cutter, but I felt like I had to mention it.
I might have to take that one out.
Yeah, I think it's available on Tubi.
Ooh.
Oh, then we will check it out if we got, because we have Tubi.
Gotta love Tubi.
Okay, we'll check it out.
I remember when I was taking my notes, I was trying to remember what the name of the film was. I was typing in everything I could think of, and like then I finally found it, and I'm like, oh, it's got a Tubi link. Cool.
Ooh. I love it when you have trouble remembering a name and it's like right there. You know it's a movie, but you can't remember the damn name for the life of you.
Hey, is there any kind of notable actors or people?
Yeah. Yes. I can't, but of course I'm blanking on her name, which is terrific. Love it when that happens. But yeah, it does have I'm not going to be able to remember. Isn't that awful? This is why I should write it down, and I should have wrote it down. But I thought, oh no, I'll remember now that I've read about it. I'll remember. I don't need to take it up.
Hey, Ethel, just a heads up as well. You're starting to lag.
I'll try to remember. Maybe it'll come to me as we're talking. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Oh, all right. I can turn on my hotspot. And I'll connect to that. I might pop out for a second and pop back in just so I can get connected.
No worries.
Bear with me, guys.
No problem.
Cool.
No problem.
But I've got a lot of these kinds of movies. Do you guys? Can you think of any other virus movies to bring up?
Oh, let's see.
There, like I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, there's Maggie with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
What was the title?
Maggie.
Oh yeah.
Good movie.
I still haven't watched. Like I said, I was sitting down because I always meant to watch. I was like, I'm gonna finally get around to watching this one right at the start of the pandemic, and I was like, this is fucking depressing and very fitting for current things. I'm gonna come back to this, and I still haven't gone back to it. But I liked what I saw.
It's a great performance by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I don't know the actress that plays his daughter, but she was good too.
Yeah.
There's one that's always overlooked. And I love it because it's really high concept. It started off as a radio play, a radio drama, and it turned into a movie, Canadian kind of horror movie called Pontypool, where the English language itself gets infected.
Yeah.
So if you use the English language, you get infected by a virus. And it makes sense, because what's the quickest way to the brain, bar like your mouth or your nose, your ears?
Mhm.
I was like, that's really fucking clever. McCarthy, what's his Christian? Do you know his name? He's like Kmart Lance Henriksen.
Oh God, what's his name? I know who you're talking about. Fucking
Well,
Kmart.
it's really cool. It takes place in a radio station. They have to warn people, but they can't use the English language because the English language is infected.
That's a genius idea. That's a genius premise.
Yeah, it's a great
Oh, wow.
premise.
I need.
Wow.
Great movie.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't checked it out. I will check
It's
it
on
out.
Netflix, I think.
Oh,
I
cool.
think it's still on Netflix in the horror
Stephen
section.
Merchant.
Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, Stephen Merchant.
Okay, that's your Kmart Lance Hendrickson.
Oh, geez, they got everything on
Stephen
there.
Merchant?
That's what Christians.
That's what the IMDb is saying.
What about The Stand? What about the 90s one, the miniseries?
Wait, no, I'm sorry.
How's my lag? Am I still lagging?
A wee bit.
Little bit,
A little bit, yeah.
little bit.
Sorry, that was my mild dyslexia kicking it. Stephen McCaddy, not Stephen Merchant.
Okay. I
Even
knew it was Hattie something, McCarthy
Yeah,
something.
Stephen McCaddy, not Stephen Merchant. Goddamn dyslexia.
No, you're okay.
It happens. What about The Stand, the original, the miniseries? Well, the book, the miniseries, and has anyone seen the
And
new one?
The miniseries and the miniseries.
And the other miniseries. What
I've
thoughts
seen
on it?
I've seen the old miniseries, which I love. The new miniseries starts off promising, but then when Trash Can Man comes in, and sounds like a velociraptor and wanks off the explosions he causes, I'm like, please.
Well, if you're into fire, if you're a pyromaniac, I can kind of see like you wanting to wank off to fire.
Basically, the guy who plays the Flash plays Trash Can Man,
no!
like Corky from Life Goes On, who sounds like a raptor while he's jerking off to a fire or an explosion he starts.
Oh no.
What about you?
The Stand is one of those ones. It's one of those Stephen King stories where I'm like, I really respect the hell out of this, but it kind of has the Stephen King problem of it's too long for me. It's too long of a story. It goes on a little too long, and every version of them the two miniseries kind of have that problem for me as well. I like some ideas and some of the stuff in it. The miniseries is pretty from the 90s is pretty different. I can't speak on the recent one. It's a decent story, but it's just too long for me. It's the same problem I have with like The Shining and It.
I get that. I'm with Marty. I prefer the OG one. But the book is great. But if we're talking film, I definitely prefer the original over the new one. Although there was some good actors in the new one.
Ethel, what do you think of the OG Stand, the old miniseries?
Oh, it's good. It's a two cassette one though. You get the VHS, you get two tapes. So you're in for a kind of a long ride.
Paul.
It's good. It definitely counts.
That miniseries was brilliant. That miniseries was brilliant though. It had you had fucking Kathy Bates, Ed Harris, Joe Bob Briggs.
Yep.
Joe Bob Briggs turns up. You had John Landis, Sam Raimi,
the guy from Coach, the one guy that does Patrick's.
Okay. Here's a legit question. I always ask this about the original Stand miniseries. Does it count as a Brat Pack film?
Why?
Because there's a bunch of Brat Pack actors in it.
But it doesn't have every Brat Pack.
But it has a lot of them in it.
I suppose.
Hey, Christian's right. It has Rob Lowe. It has Molly Ringwald. Who else has it got, Christian?
Oh God!
Is it Judd Nelson?
I think Judd Nelson's in it. Yeah, I think there's one other one. It's been
Oh,
ages, but
Ethel, Stargate reference. Corin Nemrick from fucking Stargate is in it as the dickhead who kind of blows up the fucking town hall.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. It's been years since I've seen The Stand, but yeah, he's in there. Which that's another thing. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Arthur. Go ahead, Ethel.
Well, I was gonna switch topics, so you go first.
That's cool. Oh, I was just gonna ask Marty, what do you think? Why do you think the newer one didn't work so well? Besides the wanking off to fire, why do you think the one just didn't work as well as the original?
Really bad timing.
Yeah. Or really great timing.
It's
It's really about a perspective.
Yeah, it cannot. The characterization wasn't as good. I like the characters. I like when the characters in the original one started dying and being picked off. I was like, oh man. When this one was like, like fucking like Amber Heard is in it, and I was like, okay, are you gonna betray them and shit in their bed? Or are you just going to betray them? Like, just fucking, Amber, do what you do best. Just, I don't know. I prefer the original one. Characters are more likable. I felt bad when they died, and I liked when some of them made it. New one.
Gotcha. I agree. I think the original is a lot better than the. I think it's a little truer to the book.
I haven't seen the new one, so I can't speak on it. But jerking off to fire while screeching like a velociraptor.
We might have to do it in November.
Does kind of interest me.
We might have to do it in November.
Oh no.
Put it on the list.
Yeah.
But that's another thing with this genre. What I was going to segue from earlier is it makes its way into television shows a lot. Like almost every show, whatever it is, sometimes even sitcoms end up having a virus episode. There's either a plague or there's either everybody sick with the flu. There's always some sort of television overlap with the genre. It's interesting.
It's universal. I think viruses are universal.
So,
especially now, if we didn't know that a year or two ago, we sure as hell know it now.
Yeah, and like I was reminded about that when you mentioned Stargate, Marty, because there's an episode. There's a few episodes of Stargate that deal with viruses, as you'll know. There are.
Isn't there one? Don't they contract a virus that causes them to de-evolve into Neanderthals? I think that was in the first season. It's like,
yeah, you got Richard Dean Anderson as a caveman, basically.
Yeah.
Later, DMC.
And see you, DMC.
yeah,
Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, DMC. I'm with you on that point, Revy. Screw viruses.
Don't screw them, Marty, or then we'll start a plague.
Marty, screwing viruses is how we got here.
But
Marty, if he had a virus.
Oh, hey, no, that's not. I want to highlight screw viruses. But yeah, no, they had a few episodes that dealt with that. Star Trek had a couple of every friggin' Star Trek, whichever spin-off you want to talk about, included the original series. They had virus episodes. Oh, go ahead.
One, they did it. It was actually kind of carried over into Next Generation, but there was one that made them like super amorous and horny. In the first, like Sulu was going around fencing, and they were like trying to shag each other, and then Picard was getting fucking. He was like, "Doctor, we must control her," and Tash Yar was going around fucking banging every dude she could come across, and like Troy was like, "Riker, take me with your fucking non-bearded face." And it's like, God damn.
And then
that was
This is why you love Star Trek.
This is why you're a Star Trek fan. Okay. That makes sense.
That episode was based on the original series episode called The Naked Time, where they got a virus that made them act like they were drunk. And that episode of TNG is called The Naked Now, which is a direct reference to that episode. And they even talk about that episode in the episode, which is nice.
Yeah, it's
nice
the
little
same
callback.
virus, right, Ethel? It's the same virus.
It's a mutated version of the virus, and for some reason or another, it affects Data. It makes him drunk too. I don't understand how that works, but okay.
Hey, it was a season 1 episode. We're not going to give out too much. They were still getting their feet.
And Data probably was.
And hey, he did get to bang.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So
that was like fucking everything. Every dude in the corridor, I want you. And then she turns up to Data with like that fucking halter top, and she's like, I want to fuck your robot ass. And I was like, holy shit.
Knowing this explains so much of why you're a Star Trek fan. This explains so many things.
That and Klingon sex. Klingon sex.
Hey, Jen, I'll cling on to you anytime.
I would too.
Oh God, that.
I don't even need the sexy thing to cling on to Marty. The sexy virus.
But it was a fun virus. Sure, I mean, who would
Well,
want
see, not all viruses
the
can
virus
be
who makes you
bad.
drunk? Like, it's always a great
Not all
choice.
viruses can be bad. I want a sexy time virus.
We've gotten. Yeah.
And may we never recover.
So I don't know, like, guys, can you think of any other movies you'd like to highlight before I wind things down?
Rick. Have you seen Rick?
Yeah.
Have you seen Rick?
I don't think I have.
The Spanish version.
Oh, yes, I have. I watched it when I was pregnant with Jake, actually.
It's awesome.
It is.
Basically, this reporter goes to an apartment building with a fire crew. She's doing kind of a fluff piece on like firemen, and they go to respond to an elderly person trapped in their apartment. And it turns out the person has a mutated form of rabies. And then it turns out it's not rabies. It's a viral outbreak, because it's a viral outbreak from an exorcism that went horribly wrong. I'm not gonna explain anymore, but it's pretty kick-ass. And it's one of the few found footage movies I actually love.
I do too. How do you feel about it?
It's fun. I'm not a big fan of footage guy, so that kind of takes it down a peg for me. But it's fun. I don't mind it. It's not in quarantine.
Christian, does the twist that it was an exorcism gone wrong ruin it for you?
No, I actually like that one. I actually like that twist. I think it's a lot better. I think the movie's decent for me. It's not the movie itself. It's just I'm not a big found footage guy, so that ought to just naturally I'm not as invested in the story. So
Unless it's creep.
yeah, unless it's like Creep or something. But that's a very few found footage movies ever get me that invested. Usually, that's the problem with them for me is I just can't get invested in them.
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Fucking Blair Witch.
I knew one
All
day
right.
everyone would agree with me that Book of Shadows is better. I
That's
knew I was clear on this.
that. It wasn't even scary. God, I don't get it. But yeah. So we've covered quite a bit tonight, and we've talked about plenty of these crazy virus movies, which is good, you know. hopefully we've talked about some that people haven't seen and now they're interested. They're going to check them out and show this genre some more love. Because, well, I mean, it's probably got more love now than it's had in a long time. But hey, gotta keep them going. You know, it's not a bad genre.
Viruses need love too.
What do you what do you guys think of it as a horror genre in of itself or a science fiction genre? Do you like these kinds of films?
I do like them. I like, and it's kind of transcended as well from movies. Like you got like a really great comic book called Crossed. If you're into virus kind of zombie-esque stuff, imagine The Walking Dead meets Martyrs.
Fuck
It's
yes.
an awesome fucking comic book series. If you get a chance, check it out. If you want something a bit different and a bit fucked up, check out Cross from Avatar Press. But yeah, there's so many avenues. Like great horror can be analogies or subtext, as you said, Ethel, for so many kind of political issues or fucking social issues or environmental issues, and it's a great avenue. Like, you know, be it a zombie movie, be it a viral outbreak, be it a sci-fi series. There's like so many directions you can go with it.
I agree.
Totally.
For me, it's not my go-to genre, but there are standouts. There are some, when it's done well, man, they can do it
I'm the
well.
same way. I was like, prior to doing this stream, I was sitting there trying to think of movies that I thought were really good. Virus movies, and not much was coming up. But after doing the stream, I was reminded, oh yeah, there's actually a lot of really good ones. I think the genre, it's a very small genre when you really break it down. There's not really that many films of this. I have a feeling there'll probably be a lot more coming out here over the next couple of years for some reason. But, you know, no, the ones that are good are really damn good.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's definitely probably see more of these kinds of films in the future. Just because of recent events. I think Hollywood will cash in at that coin.
I'm wondering though, because okay, they might try cashing in, but I wonder, do you think people will be just so fucking sick? I mean, absolutely fucking sick of hearing stuff about fucking COVID. Like, we just want to get it over and fucking done with. I think that's the last kind of, because like I know a bunch of 9/11 movies came out.
Yeah.
Like people are like, look, we just want to fucking move on and forget about it. I don't think they've done very well. So I'm just wondering, like.
I think so. I think there'll be a little bit of a market for it, but maybe not as much as some people are.
Already started. Michael Bay made one last year.
Oh yeah, but who talks about
Exactly.
that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, like there isn't really. Yeah, I kind of think Marty's right. I'm not saying it's going to be a very successful, but I do have a feeling we're going to get an influx of virus movies for in the next year or two.
Yeah, but that like that, or like they'll wait for a while and then they'll start coming out with them. Like it'll become popular. I don't know.
Possibly.
But
hey guys,
sometimes
we were all locked in our houses for a year and your friends and family were dying. We're going to bring you back those wonderful memories with our new movies.
Good times. Good times.
Fucking
like a romantic comedy or something.
Fucking that gobshite. Guys, isn't that gobshite fucking Michael Bay do a horror movie called Mockingbird or something?
Yes.
Nobody saw it, funnily enough.
It's like COVID 23 or something.
Yes, it's like 2 years in the future. We follow COVID 23. Like, yeah, it's. I didn't watch it, surprise, but I heard it was not particularly good, and big. But what can you expect from a movie that was literally written and then made in 3 months?
Quality.
Yeah, they put back.
All I'm saying, when Corona Zombies has a slower turnaround than you have a problem.
But all right, so yeah, that's basically it. Travels through the air, guys. Marty, what's coming from you next? What's the next thing in line?
Okay, so next month, before you have Halloween night, but the Sundays leading up to it, I'm going to be doing a genre dipping into different forms of horror, starting off with Extreme Anime Episode 2, examining anime horror. I'm going to have a special guest of Revy Reviews. I'm going to have Sadie, and I'm going to have Deacon, and we're all going to be talking about anime horror movies, or anime horror series and horror movies and fucked up anime. Then I'm going to be doing Universal Monsters.
Fuck yeah.
Then we're going to be doing The Evil Dead. And
Fuck
the week
yeah.
before your one, we're going to be doing the entire Halloween franchise. And
Yes!
also, last night, myself and my sexy cave woman cohort done a review for Dinosaur Island. So if you want to see myself and herself dressed up in a semi-kinky kind of situation, check that review out. It's a bad Roger Corman, Jim Wynorski flick. And, you know, you get to see Jen as a sexy cave woman. Like,
And you learn a lot. You learn a lot about life in that episode. You learn that pterodactyls don't look like penises.
They do.
no, they don't. But yeah, that's essentially it.
So check that out. Jen, Christian, what you guys got going on? What's next?
Is the one going to be out tonight or
Tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be having a review of Don't Breathe 2 going up.
interesting review?
Interesting movie there. We had much to say about it.
Many words.
Then we have Tales from the Crypt review, finishing up season 1 of that. And then October starts, and something's coming in October, and it's going to be a thing. Just tune in on the 1st.
Yeah. Oh, and Marty and I will be doing our Trash Fire Cinema show, and we will be doing Sleepwalkers next Saturday. We will be doing Sleepwalkers, so there is that.
Excellent. And as for me, guys, this is the last Sci-Fi Sunday. No Sci-Fi Sundays, at least not for me, next month, as Marty's stated, which is fine because I'm going to be very busy next month because it is the month of the pumpkin, guys. And to celebrate Halloween coming up, I have decided that I'm going to do a watch along every Friday. So that means this week, watch along. This week we're going to be watching on Friday, 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be watching the cult classic that everybody seems to have forgotten about, The Mutations, a.k.a. The Freak Maker, starring Donald Pleasance.
Okay.
What are you going to wear?
I have no... yes. Can't wait. That's going to be a thing.
What are you going to wear?
No idea.
But yeah, it's watching.
Ethel, you're gonna be a bit laggy again.
Yeah.
Little laggy.
So that's what I've got going on, and then of course on Halloween night at 10 p.m. Eastern, I am going to be watching the classic made-for-TV movie, The Night Dracula Saved the World.
Hell yeah.
It's a very good choice for that
My
night.
childhood right there.
What are you gonna dress up that night? Awesome.
And now, of course, because that's so special, it's part of this thing that I'm doing, which I'm now going to talk about because I got to talk about it. Got to get as many people interested in it as possible. It is part of the Candy Corn Conga Line channel hop, guys, and many people in this event. Basically, what it is if you got a YouTube channel, you got a big channel, you got a small channel, maybe you got a medium-sized channel, you're just starting out, you got 1 subscriber. Doesn't matter if you got no subscribers. Hit me up. Contact me on Twitter at _Ethel_Cross_ and arrange to take part in this event. Basically, what you do is you pick a time slot off this nice little sign-up sheet I have, and you do something. You do a live stream, you do a premiere, you can do a costume contest, trivia, whatever you want, even a movie review if you'd like. and you encourage people at the end of your show to follow a link that you place in your description box to the next video in line. It's like a conga line. It's like you're moving through the rooms of everybody's house. So hit me up, get in contact with me, and sign up. It'll be fun in the horror community and on YouTube in general. And yeah, it should be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
And I will kill your
And,
family,
of
friends,
course,
and pets if you don't
I've been
join
joined
in.
tonight by a Trash Picture Show and Tom Christian from Gen Reviews from the Grave. Yeah. And and hey, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up, leave a little comment. If you didn't like it, leave a thumbs down when you hated it. And if you really liked it, you want to be notified every time these things happen, subscribe to my channel. You'll get notified every time. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone in the chat. We had a lot of people tonight. We had Revy Reviews. We had Solus Trenchcoat. We had Kevin Grimm. We had John Steele. We had Justin Case. We had DMC Campbell. We had Ryan, Kubrick Lover. We had friggin' I don't know. We had a lot of people, guys. But I just want to thank everybody who was in the chat. Everybody who was in the chat but didn't say anything. Thank you for watching. And anyone watching this video, thank you. And I will see you all Friday, I hope.
Yep. Christian will
I
be
will.
dressed to the
Totally.
Bye.
See you later, guys.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Adios. And food. But eventually it will end the stream.
Someday.
We're trapped.
Someday my prince will come.
When can we take off our clothes now?
Later.
Why are we trapped?
I'm gonna start taking off my clothes.
I'm just a man in a box. I'm
Right down now.
You cannot leave.
You can't get off, Mrs. Ethel's wild ride. You can never get off.
Connecting and broadcast. Apparently,
Oh no!
I'm gonna take off my clothes.
Hey,
I keep pressing the button and nothing happens.
This is the stream that never ends.
Did we?
I've literally pressed it twice, and I'm still
poor Revy is pissing herself laughing. Like,
Fuck. Okay, this is it. I'm really doing it this time.
no.
What do?
I don't have any pants on. No, I do. Damn it.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Ethel, maybe leave the room and come back in. I have no idea.
We have things to do.
No, wait. Ethel, try disconnect your into. Oh no, she left.
No,
We're here now.
No, Marty, that won't work. I know from experience the internet thing would not work. We would just be stuck here. So how do you do in chat?
She's doing streams all through October, so she can't afford to waste her StreamYard's time.
Yeah, shit.
We did too, Revy. We did too.
How you doing, chat? You have any good? You eat anything yummy lately?
Who would like to see me take off my top?
I think there's still, while we're here, there's still some places left in the conga line. So if you want to give Ethel a bell and see if you want to do something, maybe like talk about anime, manga, horror movies, talk about your favorite horror movies, have a watch along, have a horror trivia, have a costume
pumpkin
contest.
sensually. Eat a
right.
sensual pumpkin.
This time it should end. Thanks for watching, everybody. Adios.